Most of us do not talk about what we carry. We walk into rooms with smiles already arranged on our faces. We scroll through other people's lives. We work and we laugh and we show up in all the places we are supposed to show up. But inside, there are battles happening that no one applauds, no one witnesses, and no one even knows to ask about. Love is not just roses and promises made in the easiest and most romantic moments of a relationship. It is staying when staying is genuinely hard and leaving would be so much more comfortable. It is choosing someone again on the days when your ego is loudly suggesting that walking away would restore something you feel you have lost. It is healing parts of yourself you did not even fully know were broken until the right person or the wrong situation revealed them to you in ways you could not ignore. And emotions, the ones we carry and the ones we try so hard to manage into something more acceptable and more controlled. They are not weakness in any form. They are proof that you are alive, proof that your heart still has the capacity to feel in a world that sometimes teaches us very deliberately and very consistently not to. I did not tell anyone this except you, because some truths are not meant to be shouted into open air where they lose their shape and their meaning. They are meant to be understood by exactly the right person at exactly the right moment. Tonight I want to talk about something real and something genuinely human, and something that every single person listening has felt at some point, but almost never admits to out loud in any space where it might actually be heard. Let us talk about love. Let us talk about emotion in all of its inconvenient and overwhelming and beautiful completeness. Let us talk about the specific and under-acknowledged strength it takes to have both and to carry both without pretending they are not there. Most of us are walking around right now with words we have never said to anyone. They sit in our chests like unopened letters that have been there so long they have become part of the furniture of our inner lives, heavy, patient, waiting for a moment that somehow never seems to fully arrive in the form we need it to. There are things I have never told anyone, not because I did not want to say them, not because I did not trust the people around me enough to receive them, but because sometimes the heart genuinely does not know how to translate its own language into something that the outside world can understand and hold without diminishing it. Sometimes emotion feels too big for syllables and too raw for sound, too present and too alive to survive the process of being turned into words that someone else will interpret through the filter of their own experience and their own defenses. I did not tell anyone except you. That sentence carries so much more than secrets within it. It carries risk in its most personal form. It carries trust that was not given lightly or automatically. It carries the trembling awareness that once words leave your mouth and enter the shared space between you and another person, they cannot return to the place inside you where they were at least contained and at least safe from whatever response the world might offer them. Have you ever noticed how expertly and how consistently we pretend we are fine? We say the words, "I am good, I am great, everything is fine," like they are a shield we can hold between ourselves and anyone who might look closely enough to see what is actually happening beneath the surface we present. We smile in photographs. We reply quickly to messages so no one worries. We show up to the places we said we would be. We function with remarkable efficiency, while inside there is a storm we have not named, that we have not told anyone about, that moves through us in the quiet moments between all the functioning. Because telling someone how you really feel, not the edited version, not the socially acceptable version, but the actual truth of what is happening inside you, that is not easy in any sense of the word. It means you have to look at it yourself first before you can offer it to anyone else. You have to sit with it in all of its complexity and discomfort without immediately reaching for a way to make it smaller or more manageable. You have to admit to yourself that something touched you deeply enough to change you in some way. And that admission requires a kind of honesty with yourself that we have not always been practiced in or encouraged toward. And that is genuinely scary in a way that is hard to articulate to someone who has not sat in it. Love, and I want to be clear that I am talking about something much larger than romantic love specifically, is fundamentally about connection, about the invisible thread that forms between two people who have made the choice to genuinely care about each other and to honor that caring through their actions and their attention over time. Care is a choice that gets renewed or abandoned every single day. Every morning you wake up and make some version of the decision about whether you are going to stay closed in the ways that protect you from the full impact of other people, or whether you are going to open yourself incrementally to the possibility of being genuinely known and therefore genuinely connected to someone. Opening up is not weakness in any honest assessment. It is the willingness to risk discomfort, real, sustained discomfort, for the possibility of something real on the other side of that discomfort. Because nothing that is genuinely real comes without the risk of loss and the risk of not being received the way you hoped. When you tell someone your truth, your actual truth, not the version you have edited for palatability, you are extending to them a specific and significant power. The power to accept what you have offered and receive it with care. The power to reject it and leave you exposed in ways you protected yourself against for good reason. But also, and this is the part we forget when we are focused on the risk, the power to free you from carrying it alone, from the performance of pretending it does not exist, from the quiet and persistent ache of words that needed to be spoken and never were. When someone tells you something they have never told anyone else, you are not simply receiving information. You are being chosen out of every person they know and every person they could have turned to. Out of the full landscape of their life, they looked at you specifically and decided, this one I can trust with this. This one will not drop what I am offering. That is not small or casual or incidental. That is sacred in the most genuine sense of that word. And if you have ever been that person for someone, the one they chose, the one they trusted with the part they do not show anyone, you understand how simultaneously heavy and beautiful that feels. Because now you are holding a piece of their heart. And hearts are delicate objects that carry the weight of everything they have been through. They have survived nights you were not there to witness. They have healed from wounds they never showed anyone. They have rebuilt themselves quietly and without audience after losses that cost them more than they have ever fully described. So when someone opens up, it is not random or incidental. It is earned through the specific and consistent demonstration that you are the kind of person who can be trusted with fragile things. Trust is built in the accumulation of small moments, in consistency over time, in showing up when you said you would, in listening without redirecting, in respecting what has been shared rather than using it carelessly. What we are really most afraid of in all of this is not being hurt. Though the fear of hurt is real and worth acknowledging, what we are most deeply afraid of is not being accepted. We are afraid that someone will see the real and unedited version of us and decide, after genuine consideration, that it is simply not enough for them, that the real version is less than what the presented version promised. But here is the truth that I need you to hear and to actually hold on to. The right person, the one who is genuinely meant to be in your life in the way that matters most, does not see your scars as damage to be assessed and evaluated. They see them as evidence that you survived everything that tried to break you and kept going anyway. They do not see your sensitivity as a weakness to be corrected or managed. They see it as depth that makes you more real and more capable of genuine connection. They do not see your past as baggage to be inventoried and judged. They see it as the story that made you specifically who you are. The person standing in front of them, choosing to trust despite everything that has happened before this moment. Love in its real form is not about finding someone who is perfect and therefore safe to love without risk. It is about finding someone who is willing, genuinely and consistently willing, to understand, to stay, and to grow alongside you through everything that comes. When you finally say those words, "I did not tell anyone except you," you are stepping into vulnerability in a way that takes more courage than most people will ever fully acknowledge or give you credit for. And vulnerability is not about oversharing or performing your wounds for an audience. It is about honesty. Specifically, it is about honesty with another person that can only begin with honesty with yourself, with admitting what you actually feel before you can express it to anyone else. Admitting that you care. Admitting that you are afraid of what caring might cost you this time after what it has cost you before. Admitting that you want something real and lasting rather than something comfortable and temporary. There is genuine strength in that admission, in that desire. There is strength in saying clearly, "I do not want something temporary. I do not want something that only asks easy things of me. I want something that goes to the depth where meaning actually lives." Temporary feels safe in a specific way because it does not require you to go to that depth. But depth is where meaning lives, and temporary things, by their nature, cannot take you there. Meaning is not loud or dramatic in its presentation. It is steady, and it is built in conversations that stretch longer than either person expected, in glances that communicate more than any sentence could, in moments where you suddenly realize, with a clarity that catches you off guard, that you are no longer pretending anything, that you are simply there, fully and without performance, with another person who is also there, and that is rare in a way that deserves to be protected and honored when you find it. Love is not possession of another person or control over the shape of what they offer you. It is permission. Permission to be fully yourself without apology or modification. Permission to feel deeply and to let those feelings be visible without shame. Permission to say, "This matters to me," without immediately minimizing it or qualifying it into something smaller and more socially acceptable. When you hold back your emotions habitually and consistently, you are not protecting yourself in any meaningful long-term sense. You are shrinking yourself to fit inside the space that seems safe. You are becoming smaller than you actually are through the ongoing process of editing your reactions and filtering your thoughts and managing how much of yourself anyone ever actually encounters. But when you genuinely trust someone, something in you expands to fill its actual dimensions. You let them encounter the unfiltered version, the one that laughs too loudly sometimes, the one that overthinks everything, the one that cares so much it is sometimes inconvenient and overwhelming. Caring too much is not a flaw in your character that needs correction. It is evidence of a heart that has not given up on the possibility of real connection, despite everything that has tried to convince it to. And in a world that frequently rewards emotional detachment and independence, performed to the point of disconnection, actively choosing to care is a revolutionary act. Choosing to love someone, to say without guarantee of reciprocation that you matter to me, is one of the bravest things a person can do with the one life they have been given. Because you cannot control the response you receive when you offer that truth. You can only control the honesty with which you offer it. And honesty, the real, steady, non-aggressive kind that simply says, "This is true for me right now," without demanding any particular answer in return, is profoundly powerful in ways that the louder and more dramatic gestures rarely are. It says, "This is real for me," and it lets that reality stand on its own. Even if the other person does not fully understand it yet, even if they need time to process what you have offered them, even if their response is imperfect in ways that initially disappoint you, your truth remains valid and worth having spoken. There is dignity in expressing what you feel with clarity and genuine respect for the other person's experience and their own timeline. There is real maturity in saying, "I do not want to play games with this or with you," because games are what people play when they are afraid of losing something, and love is not a competition with winners and losers. It is a collaboration between two people choosing, daily, consciously, sometimes with great effort, to meet each other in the middle. Two people choosing to listen as much as they speak. Two people choosing patience over the pride that would rather be right than be close. Pride keeps you silent in the moments when speaking would crack something open that needs to be cracked open. Love asks you to speak, not loudly, not dramatically, not with ultimatums or performances, but sincerely, from the place inside you where the truth actually lives.